Hello everybody, this is SCP Gamer, back again with another video. Yesterday I didn't upload because I actually tried to record a video, but the audio got cut out, so there is no video yesterday. Sad. But, you might be wondering, for everyone who watched my original 5 tips and tricks, might be asking, why am I doing this? Reason for that is, since that I have now more experience and now take urban planning way more serious than me back then, I've decided to do a little update and give you guys 5 more tips. So the old video, I can still agree with. You can feel free to use these tips in my older video, but this is just like an extended edition. So I have 5 more tips and tricks listed for you guys to know about for your city. So let's get into tip number 1. Number 1 are parks and plazas. Give people public spaces to hang out with friends, just go on a walk, or give people a chance to escape from modern society, which kind of sucks nowadays. Like this small little park here, it's nothing special, nothing surprising, but it's just looks nicer instead of like a building. It just gives gives you also a sense of scale. Like these buildings, they would look way more intimidating with another building flushed right here. And on the topic of plazas like these can also help. And if you incorporate my bonus tip from last video with the people, this can definitely make this look extremely lively next to this cafe with a fountain and like people walking, talking. And yeah, it just looks so much nicer. So I recommend you to build parks and plazas, since they also give a bunch of greenery. Now let's get on to tip number 2. So tip number 2 is to divide your city into different districts. You can definitely tell that here is a borderline between district, like this district right here, and this is also a different smaller like district. Dividing your city into district makes your city feel way more organized and better thought out. You don't want a skyscraper in a suburban area. You want to divide your city in different districts. Like this, like you can definitely tell that here is a border between 2 districts. This is like more commercial area and this is more of a touristy area. Also, you can also give them like funky names. Like this district, I just decided to call Point Zero because it has all like the most common, the most unique monuments. And then here's like another financial district and yada yada yada. So yeah, dividing your city into districts helps a lot with your city. Now let's get on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is to add traffic, like cars, trucks, service vehicles, and, in my opinion, most importantly, buses. Adding vehicles to your city makes it feel extremely alive and gives you also a better image, like you are someone who really tries your best to make a city look great. And adding just some vehicles, like these simple cars, they might not look pleasing, but from afar, it's hard to tell that they're actually quite simple. They just fit. And keeping to a style of vehicles is important because you don't want like a bunch of simple vehicles and then like one over detailed masterpiece like in the middle of it. I suggest you do simpler cars, since if you don't have world editor or don't know how the structure block works, you're definitely gonna have a painful time building a bunch of detailed vehicles. I just decided to go with these simpler vehicles just so that I can have a higher quantity of, and they just look fine. They just look fine on their own. And so yeah, tip number 3, vehicles/traffic. Tip number 4 is to have more than one type of building. You don't want your entire city to rely on one grocery store. That's what I see way too much in cities, and I am sick of it. You need more than one building. Add like 3 hospitals, like 6 grocery stores, and multiple schools. You don't want one of each. Except some exceptions are monuments, airports, and big public transit hubs. For example, you can have one central station to be your primarily main transit hub, but you don't only want one single office or one single grocery store. I see that way too many times, and I want you guys to not do this mistake. Get more grocery stores, get more vets, get more schools. You want your city to look realistic, so add more of different types of buildings. So that is a tip that I strongly suggest you guys to do, and it's in my opinion the most important one of this video. Whilst on the topic of more than one building, tip number 5 is to make companies. Make companies of like different grocery store chains. Make gas station brands. Make like different companies that rely on architecture, or even do a company that designs like washing machines. You can go really crazy and very creative with companies like a cinema chain, or my most important. Let me restart. Most important company, in my opinion, is definitely have a company around your public transportation network, because you obviously want your public transportation to be really good. So making a company makes it look more organized, because think of New York with their 3 private companies. Didn't turn out pretty well. And yeah, only have like one public transport company, and like make different companies for different grocery store chains, houses, or job center companies. That can work too, or like big old companies. You don't just wanna copy different companies. Like you don't really wanna only copy McDonald's, Burger King, Walmart. Make your own. Go funky. So yeah, tip number 5, add companies. I did a bonus tip in my last video, so here's another bonus tip for you guys. Or as I said, for yo guys. But my bonus tip is to add a ring line to your city. Like I haven't built a ring line at all in my city until like a couple days ago. I've started on a ring line. And adding a ring line gives a realism to cities, since ring lines aren't necessary, but having at least a ring line gives it more of a better connection. A ring line's purpose is to connect different main transportation hubs with an efficient line that mostly is disconnected from other lines. Like here, this is like an underground ring line, which also will get overground. I just need to work on it. Which also is a pretty good like side tip. If you have a big city and you want to build like a light rail, do an underground section in your already existing infrastructure. It doesn't disturb, and it gives way more realism. But yeah, A ring line is definitely my bonus tip. If you wanna tips and tricks video on how to make a good public transportation network, let me know in the comments. And these were my top 5 plus bonus tips and tricks to improve your city part 2. I hope you enjoyed this video and found this video useful. If you know anyone who currently builds a city in Minecraft, send this to them. Maybe this will help them improve their city and obviously your city. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Goodbye!